is Larry, aka Simudad. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Somewhere in Thuringia III Terralife Plus, episode 3. I hope you're all well. I hope you had a great week so far. What have you been up to? And I do hope you are enjoying the series so far. My adventures back on FS22 and exploring what Terralife Plus has to offer. I'm trying to get my head around the complexity of it all. We are 7 AM in the morning. Time is off just for a sec. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to head on over after the autosave, of course. Now, at the end of last episode, after I'd finished recording, I got the voucher sort of laid up over here, ready to go. So the voucher is on a course play, and the course play is going to just take out all this fodder carrots, which we don't want. Our job today is to put the time back on and get cracking with this seeding. Now, check the weather. We are raining at the moment, and basically we've got rain for the next hour. So in the meantime, we'll get some seeding on the way. This is our meadow grass going in, and we'll mow and bale this up for silage when the time is right, which we'll use to feed our cows. What I don't know about is with the silage, I think we're going to have to put down, because we're going to have at least 2 types of silage going in. I don't know how. Let me just lift that up a sec. It's the worker is apparently blocked by an object. Right, that's why. We'll leave that for a sec, then we'll have to probably do that ourselves. Right, cool. Yeah, anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, what I don't know is we're probably going to have to, I think we've got 2 bunkers down already on the farm. What we may have to do is look at getting more, depending on how many different types of silage we end up needing eventually. Yeah, like I said, at the moment, we just, from memory, we just need... We do actually need 3 types of silage, I think. Silage maize, meadow grass, meadow silage, and alfalfa silage, which alfalfa is going to go in our next field. So we will either need to wrap the bales or get more bunkers done. Didn't think about that. It's alright, we'll come to that when we come to it. See, it's all the little things that you don't really think about. It's all the little things you've just got to think about. Because the other thing I don't know is if we need to roll this in as well. I know that Terralife Plus has changed it so that crops that would not normally be rolled in real life don't need to be rolled in. The only problem is I don't know what those crops are that don't need to be rolled in real life. So someone else will have to figure out, and the only way we'll figure that out is by getting a roller up here and seeing if it does actually make any difference. Like I said in, I believe, the first episode, although there is crop damage on grass now in Terralife Plus, we are not putting tram lines in on grass. We will put tram lines in on the other crops that we plant. So when we plant the maize, silage maize in, we will put tram lines in then. But for grass, I'm not particularly worried, because we are looking at using grass tyres, or narrow tyres rather. And we're driving on the grass anyway, so it's not the end of the world. Yeah, this is it's going pretty well so far. It's been a bit of a, we are bumbling through it a little bit, I've got to be honest. But at the end of the day, it's not actually the easiest when you get into it. There's so many new crop types, so many new growth stages, so many new things to think about. And that's before you've even started thinking about animals, what animals you might want to run, and all that kind of stuff. So, absolutely loving it, but it is one hell of a learning curve, I will be honest. There we are. I'm lined up on that one. Alrighty, let's roll, buddies. And there is a specific reason. Now, at the moment, we're early doors. As far as I could remember from the... Sorry, I got side... Oh, there it is. Literally, was just about to say. As far as I can remember from the forecast, the rain should stop any second. And there it goes. It's just stopped, as I was just about to say that. And comes the low fog. Some of you watching might be thinking, well, why are you not using solid fertilizer at the same time? The Novag seeder can do solid fert and seed at the same time. I'm purely doing that just for something extra to do down the line, because with all the extra growth stages, I'm envisaging there's going to be some time on our hands at certain points, and having extra jobs that, although I could, for efficiency purpose, do it now and be done with it, it's something that I could do with having to do again down the line. So much so, actually, that Disturbed Simulation, who I've been watching a little bit recently with some of his Terralife stuff, in some of his episodes, he was even manually turning down the fertilization rate on his particular spreader of choice, so that it wasn't giving full fertilization on the first pass, so then he'd have something to do on the second pass. Because that's the thing, when you're in the early stages, and setting yourself up, there's not a lot to be getting on with in that sense. Like, we're just getting ourselves set up now. We've got stuff to be cracking on with because we just so happen to have some fields to actually work. But we've got no animals at the moment because we haven't got, we haven't got a means from our farm to feed them. We could feed them, we can buy the feed in, or we can buy the individual components in to make our own feed in the mixer. I may consider doing that. What we've got going on here is based on 18-month cows. Now, I think I'd have to double check the recipes again, but I'm pretty sure that the recipe that I've chosen, the 18-month cows, is at least the ingredients that we're planting right now. I think they are needed in some of the other stages as well. So if we changed our plans slightly and we went for a slightly older cow to start generating some milk sooner, then we could do that, and we're not wasting a lot of our time here. But I think we'll probably stick with the cow selection of our choice. We're not going to heap of cows. We're probably going to get, I'd say, no more than 10 to begin with. We probably will... Oh, I knew that was going to... Still going to catch. Farquhar kick coming up, boys. We probably definitely will get a bull, breed cows, so that number will go up as it is right now, we'll probably get a handful of cows to begin with, no more than 10. Probably, we may even get eight sort of heifers and a bull. See what happens. Yeah, we'll play it by ear, because the last thing I want to do is, I don't want to go like, oh yeah, let's just get like 50 cows, and then all of a sudden it's like we can't feed them, we can't keep up with the demands. Because I don't know if you've ever played Maize Plus. I love that mod, but that's like a light version of Terralife Plus in the sense of the extra feed requirements, but that also generated a heck of a lot of things like manure and slurry and milk. So it's I'm thinking Terralife Plus is going to be the same as that, which means we'll have our work cut out for us, which I don't want to jump straight in on that if we can't keep up with the feed requirements, because I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think in Terralife Plus the animals can actually die if you don't look after them properly for a prolonged period of time. So you know, we're not about that animal cruelty life over here on the Simudad channel, so we'll do our very best by those cattle to do right by them. Just too bad the plough didn't want to work. She kept getting caught on the power lines. There's going to be a recurring theme on that field, I think. Unfortunately, the power lines is not something we can get rid of. It's a fixed element of the map, so we'll just have to leave those. One thing I'm still getting my head around is just the vast increase in cost for the seeds of grass. Cost us 25,000 euros for 1,050 litre pallet of seeds, which frankly that is incredible. That is cost that much. So I'm hoping that it's like a one and done situation, in the sense of we just need to, you know, once the cut is ready, we just need to sort of give it another fertilization, check the pH levels, and then we just don't need to reseed every time. Which, you know, I think that probably is what's going to happen, because that is what happens with grass in real life. So, you know, the farming agency guys are renowned for putting in the work and effort in research and everything like that. I was watching a video just today, actually, of a video they shared in their Discord, on the Maize Plus Discord, on someone, I think it was like a German farm, mixing up a TMR mix, and just watching them work, watching the amount of stuff that does actually go into TMR. It's like all stuff that we actually probably wouldn't think about, because obviously A, we're not farmers, and B, base game, TMR is really very easy to mix up. So yeah, it's not something you'd naturally think about and go, oh yeah, Christ, there's about 12 ingredients. So when you look at the TMR mix recipes, and there's, you know, like 10, 15 different sections, that is genuinely what some farms do mix up, is so much different ingredients. I didn't end up finishing watching the whole video because it was in German, or it was in a foreign language. I don't want to assume it was German, but it was in a European language. I know a bit of French, I know a very, very small bit of Italian, and I know a very small bit of Spanish, to know that it definitely wasn't one of those three. So it was, you know, I didn't understand what they were sort of saying. That's, you know, that's on me, but so I didn't finish watching it. But there was at least 8 or 9 ingredients that they were putting into this mix of TMR. So what I think I'll do on my mix, obviously we've only 5 ingredients that are required, varying percentages. The 2 other ingredients that I'm definitely going to include, even though they're quote-unquote optional, is water and molasses, because there was a lot of water and molasses that went into this mix today. Not a lot, actually, that's wrong to say a lot, but there was definitely water and molasses that went into the mix. So, and I think that's probably a bit of, serves it as sort of like a bit of a binding agent, perhaps. Right, there we are. So we're nearly done seeding our first field in Terralife Plus. It has so far been not too bad. Yeah, like I said, we've only used about just coming up on 100 litres of seed. So it makes sense to buy the pallet, because if you don't buy the pallets, you get a sort of like a yield drop, I think, from looking at the store. If you just buy the big, like the individual bags. So we bought the pallet. We'll store the pallet of leftover down on the farm somewhere. Just because we, you know, obviously we paid money for it. It's not like we can sell it. No current plans to plant meadow grass anywhere else, but it'd be good to have a pallet left over just on the off chance that we do actually need it. We do actually need to reseed every season. But we'll see. The next job will be to seed the alfalfa. I think it's alfalfa I'm going to go for in this next field. And we probably will end up with a bit more meadow grass than alfalfa, because the field is slightly bigger, but that's just what it is. Hopefully that seed is not as expensive as this, but we'll see. I say I mean, we can't sell the leftover seed anyway. There's no sort of functionality in the game to be able to do that. But we will keep it, because there is every opportunity, every possibility that we may end up ploughing this field in, or joining these two fields that I've made together again at some stage, once we've got another field that's sort of available to be planted on. Like I've said a couple of times, there's really not like any additional challenges that I've put on myself for the series. Like, I'm not stipulating any kind of like no debt or self-sufficiency or anything like that at all. But you know, given the complexities of Terralife Plus, I would like to try and reduce as much of the feed inputs as possible. Yeah, there's certain ones that won't be possible, such as the carrot pulp, as we discovered in the last episode. We can't we can't turn our fodder carrots into carrot pulp. There's no sort of production that does that for us. The only way to get carrot pulp is to buy it through one of the buying station mods they've got. Now it's only a penny, no, not a penny, a pound, a euro, to put down a carrot pulp buy station. I think it's very, very cheap. I think I did a little test on a private save, and I think it was 12,000. The trailer I was using was 12,000 litres, and I think 12,000 litres of carrot pulp was about 400 euros. So it is very, very cheap to get it. So I'm not particularly worried about that. I don't know how to turn it into silage, because that was one of the other options, is we could use carrot pulp silage. I assume we just bunker it and let it ferment. Because what we may look to do is if we're going to end up needing all these different bunkers, if it's sellable, we may sell the 2 bunkers that I know we've definitely got on the farm and place down some of the, if they've got them, if they've included them. Maize Plus had their own Dyker silage bunkers that sort of stuck together. So you can put down every new one that you put together sort of locked into the old one, so, or the one next to it. So they'd all sort of join together and look as exactly like they were meant to be there in that exact position. I'll show you what I mean now, actually, because I actually don't want to do that. I want to do that. So that's how little of a pallet that we've used. So we've used 115 litres. So we cut down through here. Go through the graveyard, just jump the fence. So where are we? Down here. So they've got 2 large bunker silos here and then a manure heap. Now let's have a look if they've got them on the build menu, because what I'm thinking is we could potentially they are under silos. They do have them, yeah. Because basically you can put them down and then you put the next one down and the next one, and they all sort of connect together to make one neat. So we could potentially have them all lined up across here depending on how many we need. We could have sort of 2 back to back and then 2 back to back. Let's see if we can sell those. It does look like we can sell. I don't want to press it because I can't remember if there's like a double confirm, and I'm not 100% sold that I will. But we could do that. We could have 2 here in the same position, but back to back. So one end this way, that one end that way, and the same here. Or failing that, we could have like 4 lined up across here. Or smaller ones lined up across here. We'll see how we go. We'll see. We'll sort of come to that later on. Don't know why I've come all the way over there. That was not what we needed to do. Right, cool. So that's our meadow grass in, which that should grow. Should tell us, hopefully, if it needs rolling. It doesn't say it needs rolling. Have you got a menu thing for that? So as it stands, it looks like it doesn't need to be rolled. What I will do, just to confirm it in my own mind, is we will get a roller and we'll bring a roller over here. So it's on growth stage 1 of 27. Need to get those back to our yard and store them away somewhere. So we'll do that. Alrighty guys, so we're going to move this on over here. Out of our way. And we're going to, sadly again, going to do a little bit of naughty super strength to move these pallets off the field. I'm just going to put it over here for a sec. We'll probably 100% forget that it's there, but we will try not to. So what we're going to do is I've just purchased a roller, and a tractor to pull it. So this is the John Deere 4040 mod, and I actually use this tractor a very great deal of amount of time. It made no sense to, I don't know why I said it like that, but I used it quite a lot on FS19. There was a version of this mod, and I used it quite a lot on there. There were 3 options for this roller. I think, and I hope that I've picked the right one. There's a smooth version which I felt like may potentially be like a grass roller. Now I know we've got grass, but we haven't got grass growing, if that makes sense. So we'll see. I don't even know that we need to roll this seed in. It doesn't say that we do. So we'll put it to the test. This may have been an entirely useless purchase, but the tractor would definitely come in handy for us. So we'll see what happens when we get up to the field. We've been thinking about that other field as well, the fodder carrots that we're going to plough in. Now, I think what we're probably going to do is we'll just plough that in off camera, as it were. Just because I think that it's going to be... I mean, we've done a lot of ploughing on camera as it is anyway, so it's doing it now. It wasn't doing anything for a second. So we're going to roll this in, hopefully. It is changing the texture, but I don't know if it's doing us any good to... I don't know if it's changing the texture just because... All I think it's doing is just changing the texture because of the grooves on the thing. It's not actually... I think we don't need to roll it in. I'm going to roll the dice on it. Roll the dice and take a chance that we don't need to roll it in. It doesn't say we need to roll it. I don't think it's doing us anything in the way of improving what we're doing. So I think we'll just leave it. Right, seeds. What we want now is alfalfa, I think. Field fodder, alfalfa seeds, 21,000. Let's have a look. I was just going to go. I remembered I took a picture of it the other day. So for this field, we need it to be either clover silage, clover grass silage, or alfalfa silage. So clover grass, or alfalfa. Alfalfa's 21,568 for pallet. Clover is 11.5, just under 11.5. Silage made. Clover grass. See, this is the thing. I don't know what the yields are like based on, you know, clover's much cheaper, but is it a better yield or a lower yield because it's cheaper? It doesn't work like that. Does it need more seed? Is that why it's cheaper? Let's just buy clover. We'll take a punt on it. It's quite finicky to get on these ladders, actually. done a bit of that. Let's just chuck the rest in. I think because we had the pallet, that was what was opening the door, and I can't remember the control off the top of my head. So we'll refill that. Clover. Again, because we're going to be using it for grass, our main grass mower is going to have narrow tires on anyway, so or any sort of spreader or anything that we do is going to have to whip that out. Show the lines. We want to head in 304. Back. Right, let's roll. So yeah, we're not gonna bother with this on tram lines on this field, as I explained sort of last time out. So it's definitely seeding clover, but it's so slow, like the actual usage rate, which that's great for us. I'm not complaining about that. But we've literally used 2 litres of seed for that one whole pass, which that is not bad. So yeah, we did talk about it a little bit earlier on in the episode, I think, or might have even been the end of the last episode. I can't really remember off the top of my head, but about the silage bunkers down in the main farm, and we're probably gonna have to rejig those, because as it is now, I think we're gonna have to have at least 4 different types of silage. So we're going to need 4 bunkers, and we just don't have the space for 4 of the big bunkers down there. So I think we're going to be better off getting 4 of the sort of Terralife Plus, Maize Plus ones. So we're quite early on in the growth cycle. I was just looking at the crop calendar earlier. We're quite early on in the planting season for alfalfa and clover and alfalfa. No, meadowgrass, sorry. Either way, we're quite early on in the season, so we should have a fairly early cut, I think. In about 27 weeks' time. Just, it'll be interesting to see what happens, because when I played Terralife Plus before, I never really got as far as, you know, I played probably a couple of hours tops. So I didn't really fully get any chance to kind of get anywhere with it, if that makes sense. So I don't know with the grasses and stuff if they are like a growing back type, like I was saying earlier. As in, once you cut them, all you need to do is just do the usual field stuff, like check pH, check nitrogen levels, stuff like that. Roll them, and then you can cut again in the next growth cycle, or whether it's like a replant. Replant every time kind of job. Like I was saying, I think it's very likely that they'll grow back, because obviously, you know, that is what normally happens with grass. The good thing so far, I don't know if it'll be the same when we come to doing the maize silage planting. Although the seed pallets are considerably more expensive, they do seem to go much further. I say we've done, you know, a good few rows now, and we've only used 8 litres of seed, which, if you ask me, that's not bad at all. Sorry, just texting and driving. What a bad man. My son's in France at the moment, as I spoke about. I think on the last episode. I can't remember if I mentioned it this episode. I've recorded this episode in 2 halves, just for timing reasons, and so there's now I recorded the first half on Thursday night. My son was in Disneyland, Paris, and he's leaving today. He's traveling back today So he was just texting me to say that he checked his room for anything that he might have left behind and stuff, because you know what kids are like. If you've got kids, you'll know what they're like. He'll forget his head was, if it wasn't screwed on, that old saying. But he is like that. Like, I lose track of the amount of trips and everything that he's been on, where he's had to go on a coach and he's left his bloody wallet or his phone or his coat, his bag. So we'll see when he gets back tonight. He's scheduled to get home about 11:30 p.m. tonight. It'll be a late one, but the car's off the road, which is a bit annoying, so it's in with the garage waiting to be repaired, so I'll have to get an Uber to pick him up. I did it the other day, and then I walked home, and his school's about 5 kilometers ish, give or take. I think it was like 4.7 kilometers away. And I walked back. Well, I don't know if many of you probably don't know, but for the last nearly 11, actually about 11 months, I've been suffering with an ankle injury. Mystery ankle injury, which I came on from, no, I didn't injure it, didn't trip, fall, slip, whatever. I've been seeing a physio. I'm now waiting for an MRI scan on it. So I decided to walk back the 5 kilometers for whatever reason. I thought that was a good idea. It wasn't a great idea. So I'll get an Uber, pick them up later, or a taxi firm if they're not busy. But it's a Friday night. The town where I am, it's got a bustling Friday night town life. It means the taxis are usually fairly busy. Let's get that tucked in there. Lovely job. Last few rows to sweep up now. And then that'll be our lovely field of clover. Not alfalfa, it's clover. Which will turn that into clover silage. And the only reason that I picked clover, to be completely honest, is that it was cheaper. It was about half the price for a pallet of clover as it was for a pallet of clover grass. So we'll see what the yield is like. Maybe next season we'll do this field on as clover grass, and we'll see if there's a yield difference. Because at the end of the day, we want to be getting the best yield possible. Because I've got a sneaking suspicion that the cows, when we get them, are going to be pretty hungry on the old feed. So we'll get cracking. What we need to do as well is we need to check our other fields, the ones that had crops in them already. I think we've got a field of I want to say winter wheat. It might be summer wheat, but it might be winter wheat. But either way, we've got a field of wheat, which we need to check what the stats are on that for pH, nitrogen, and weeds. We've got I think the other field is a field of spelt, which has no real sort of anything for us really. There's no real bonus or benefit to us, other than it'll be a small bit of cash flow. Not a lot, I don't think. When I looked at the price fluctuations, I don't think it is really worth a lot. But it'll give us a little bit of a cash income. I know in real life, I'm pretty sure you can get spelt flour. So I do wonder if there's I know Terralife comes with a load of modded productions that takes their crop type as inputs. So I wonder if there's a spelt flour that we could make with it to sort of boost up our revenue. Don't know if it produces anything in the way of like straw or anything like that, which we can use as bedding. Just to go back a little bit, actually, if we take a quick step back to the bunker situation, we could negate the need of having to put down extra bunkers by wrapping the bales. The only problem, slight issue I've got with the bales is, and this is why it's probably more leaning to doing bunkered silage, is that the the bales are obviously a determined size. You know, like 3,500 litres, 4,000, depending on what size bale you wrap. Obviously, they're a predetermined size. And the problem for us is we haven't got a very large mixer. So when we're working with fine percentages, where something it's going to be far easier for us if we can control that manually by loading a smaller bucket. So that's why I'm probably leaning towards more bunkered silage than wrapped bale silage. The other factor is I think this is awesome, don't get me wrong, but it's just another thing to think about, is they've set it so that bales in Terralife do decompose, do rot away if you don't use them in a sort of timely fashion. Now, I don't know what it's set to, how quick that process is. So we'll do the headland pass now. There's not that much really to pick up in the way of bits that we've or sort of headland bits that we've missed. I wasn't really, to be honest, I didn't stop like I would normally. Normally I set the GPS to stop so there is a very clearly defined headland, and I didn't do that. But in any case, it's all good. It's a bit fine. Missed anything up there because we did a clean run up the side, so it's just the top end, and then we should be good. And that'll be a lovely field of clover planted. We will bring the roller over real quickly. Just messed that up completely. So we'll do a swing around. Lovely jubbly. Righto. So that is cool. It's also the last day of my kids' school today. So the official last day is Monday, the 21st of July, I want to say. But the teachers have very kindly put an inset day in, because obviously they are definitely going to be training. It's definitely not because they want an early finish for school holidays. Right. So let's park this over here just off the field. What we'll do is we'll park it over here next to this pallet, because then we're less likely to forget that it's there. We will need to come up with some way of transporting that pallet. Let's get this unrolled. Again, I'm not 100% sure that this clover even needs to be rolled, but we'll find out. I'm somewhat certain that this grass field doesn't need to be rolled. I mean, this says that it doesn't need to be rolled. It actually says we don't need any nitrogen on there either. We do need a hefty load of nitrogen over here, but on this one, It says we don't need nitrogen, so... My only problem is, right, it does change the texture, but I think that's because it's got the knurled bar on it. It doesn't say it needs to be rolled, so we'll assume that it doesn't, and that was a pointless purchase. But it'll come in useful at some stage. So we'll stick this up over here off the field. It'll be really just a case now of waiting for the first growth stage, which will be in a couple of weeks' time. Let's leave that here, and then what we need to do is we actually just need to have gold to save. Sorry, we'll jump over to our other fields. Which are here. So let's have a look at this one first. So this is our winter wheat growing. We're in stage 21, 27. It needs ploughing, and it desperately needs some pH, some improving pH and nitrogen. Still reckons we can drive on it in all tyres and tracks, so that's interesting. And then over here we've got the spelt growing, which is growth 18 of 27, and again that needs pH and nitrogen as well. So what we'll do is, there's no weeds growing on here, is it? No weeds. So when this is harvested, we'll need to plough it up. But what we need to do, because we got rid of that crazy sprayer. Not sure what that was about, but we had a little freeze there. Anyhow, what we need to do is pick ourselves up one of these fertilizer spreaders. They've got one in Terralife Plus, which is this one. And we can get the extension on it to take it up to 18, 19, nearly 19,000 litres. Narrow tyres on there. We'll get the 6 metre spreading unit. That'll give us an 18 metre spread. We're gonna just lease that for now. We may potentially buy it down the line, but for now we're just gonna we'll just lease that, because that's the only one we can get anyway. If we're going to use carbo lime, which I do want to use carbo lime, powdered carbo lime, then we do need to get that one. And I tell you what that's just done, is that has just pinged that. I forgot to reset the delivery point, my bad. So that has just placed it in the field over here. So what we'll do is we'll get that started up. What we'll do is we'll get some carbo lime delivered to this field to fill the spreader, then we'll reset the shot point back. What I don't know about the clover is, does it harvest just the same as grass? Like, do you just let's get carbo lime. I think it was in pallets here. Where is it? Yes, there. $10 or €10, sorry, for 2,000 litres. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So buy 8 pallets. Get that loaded in. In the meantime, get the shot point reset. We can't actually. That field definitely said it was all tires and tracks. Maybe what we might be better off doing is swapping tractors again, chucking the Ford up over there for ploughing duties. Now, I will be honest, my preference usually with liming is to do it prior to seeding a field. obviously we sort of quote unquote inherited the fields in the state that they're currently in, so it's absolutely fine, in my opinion at least, that we carbo lime over the crop for this occasion, and then we'll do it properly from next time. So we'll leave that over there. We'll run this up to this field, and then what I'll do is we'll call the episode there, and we'll do the carbo lime spread in next time out. I will get this field ploughed between episodes. I was hoping, like you saw last time, I was hoping we were going to be able to get this ploughed with a courseplay worker, but sadly she kept getting stuck on the these pylons up here. So we'll roll this down to the other field. There's a lot of stuff needed on this field, but we're not that worried about it because we are ploughing it in first. So once we're ploughed, we'll carbo lime before we seed. The weeds that are in it will get taken care of by the ploughing. Get that lined up exactly. Perfectly. Alright guys, so there we are. That's going to do us for this one, I reckon. It's a good day coming up on 5 o'clock. Bang the time off for a sec. But yeah, it's not been a bad day. We've got the 2 fields that we wanted to seeded, which is a good shout. And yeah, next time out, we'll carbo lime the two other fields, and this will be ploughed, so we'll probably get to seeding this as well. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you have, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you aren't already subscribed and you want to be, it'd be awesome if you would come and join us. And of course, as always, any thoughts, feedback, tips, tricks, comments, whatever you like in the comments down below, and I'll get back to you in there. Until then guys, you take care, and we'll catch you in episode 40.